everybody. Joe Joseph here for thedailysheeple.com, and this is your news shot. I want to go to zerohedge.com as they highlight yet again that most American adults here in the United States have not felt any sort of growth or improvement to quality of life in quite some time. As a matter of fact, we've seen the steady deterioration of quality of life. How cost of living is going up in relation to wages, and the fact that people just don't make as much anymore due to inflation and other factors. And that dollar just doesn't get as far as it used to. Now worth only 2% of what it was worth in 1917 at the inception of the Federal Reserve. Well, it says a quarter of American adults can't pay all their monthly bills. 44% of Americans have less than $400 in cash. How many people out there listening today are in this situation, or in a situation where they've seen their quality of life, where they've seen their cost of living, where they've seen all of these factors erode before them, especially since the economic downturn in 2000, actually started in 2006 and then accelerated into the crash of 2007, 2008. But ever since then, I mean, nothing's ever recovered. Now, I said there was some good news and some not so good news in the Fed's latest annual report on the economic well-being of U.S. households. They say first the good news. The report, based on the board's fourth annual survey of household economics and decision-making. That's this new board that they have, or very interesting. It says conducted in October 2016 presents a picture of improving financial well-being among Americans, at least according to the report. Overall, 70% of the more than 6,600 respondents said they were either living comfortably or doing okay. That's up 1% from 2015 and up 8% from the first survey result in 2013. So according to this survey, they're actually saying that more people have identified with it being better for them, which again, you know, when I look around and I ask around and I talk to people, that's not the prevailing result or response that I get, as well as my own personal life experience. But, you know, I'm sure there are people that have benefited greatly from this, the end of the Great Recession, if you will, which never ended. At least, if you count 1% growth, then perhaps it ended. But I'm sorry, if you're growing at 1 to 2%, that's just not growth. That's stagnation or stagflation or whatever you want to call it. Now, it says, not surprising, the highest percentage, or 92% of those who responded that they were living comfortably, were among the group with more than $100,000 in income. And of course, if you're pulling in 100 G's a year or more, chances are you're able to live comfortably. But even now, $100,000 a year doesn't get you what it used to get you. A six-figure salary used to mean or guarantee that you were going to live pretty comfortably. Now, not so much. If you take a look at our lives in comparison to the way they were 25, 30 years ago, look at the cost of health insurance and health care. Anybody that has a loved one or a family member that's experiencing health care issues knows that there is a serious financial burden associated with health care now, whereas before it was not as financially crippling. A lot of people now feel that pinch. Taxes are higher than they were prior to the recession. You know, George Bush actually had the tax cuts. I can't remember exactly how much, but it was significant, the tax cuts. And when they expired, boy, did we feel it, especially those that get a tax refund, you know. They noticed a significant drop in the type of credits that were available at the time. So you see the United States bringing in record taxes. All of this plays into why we don't really feel any sort of turnaround. Not to mention the fact that we have AI that's eliminating all the jobs. there are a lot of factors that play into this, but one thing is for certain. Most people out there are struggling. You know, listen to this. For Americans making less than $40,000, the breakdown was almost an even split, with 49% saying that they're just getting by. According to the same study, 28% of the respondents said that their income in the last 12 months was less than $25,000, and 40% reported that their income was less than the $40,000 cutoff, which suggests that roughly 40% of Americans are finding it difficult to get by right now. 40%. That's a huge number. You know, when you talk about this great economy that we have, you know, the United States, the bastion of freedom and democracy and free markets. Yeah, right. Folks, I mean, all I can say is as interest rates go up, and they will under this Federal Reserve, you're going to start to see growth, just whatever's left, come to a halt. And unfortunately, you know, those that put a lot of faith in President Trump, you see now the type of uphill battle anybody that is elected or put into that office has at trying to make any sort of significant change that benefits the people. You end up fighting the mega lobbying complex that's in Washington, you know, fed by your military industrial complex, your pharmaceutical industry, your banking industry, your healthcare industry. All of that is significant headwinds that really the American people, when you have 4 in 10 that are just trying to scrape by, don't really have the resources that big business does, nor the reach on in D.C. So that's the battle that we fight. And that's why I say I don't think it's going to get much better. If anything, I feel like we're going to see it deteriorate here in the future. I'm Joe Joseph. This was thedailysheeple.com's News Shot. Feel free to comment below and visit our website at thedailysheeple.com. Have a great day, everybody.